Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tu Ka's Stories. I'm so happy to have you here with me again to enjoy another heartwarming story about Jack and Li Tutian. I hope your day is filled with happiness and gentle moments. If you love these stories, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment to let me know which part you enjoyed the most or which part could be even better. I read every single comment and I truly appreciate it. Now let's dive into today's story together. Early mornings on the hillside always carry a special kind of light. It isn't harsh like midday sun, nor soft and fading like late afternoon. It's a tender layer of golden light that brushes over the leaves and the wooden steps of the porch. The little white house tucked quietly against the slope welcomes that sunlight like an old friend. No sound of engines, no city noise. Only the whisper of wind slipping through half-open windows, the rustle of birds searching for ripe fruit, and the soft chime of wind bells tapping against each other. Jack still leaves for work every morning. He still lives with his mother, Mrs. Loy, down in the town. Only once in a while does he come up here, installing another camera on the porch roof, connecting another water line, fixing a lock. Each small change brings the house a little closer to the home they once dreamed of. But for now, most of the time, it's just her living here, Tutian. She steps out into the yard wrapped in a thin sweater hair tied loosely behind her neck. The sky is clear. The wind drifts across her arms like a gentle greeting. The yard is clean, the young trees have taken root, and the camera Jack installed 2 days ago still flashes its tiny green light. Tutian looks up at it, and a small smile softens her face. Not a wide grin, but a quiet warmth shining through her eyes. Inside, the kettle hums softly. She pours herself a cup of tea and sits by the wooden chair near the window, watching the garden. Every morning is the same, and it's exactly that sameness that brings her peace. But peace doesn't always mean the absence of emptiness. Tutian has always known Jack loves her. Every corner of this house carries traces of his hands, from the new water pipes to the power sockets near the kitchen. From the wind chime she liked to the small table on the porch. But deep down, she still feels small. While he takes care of everything so she can live comfortably, she quietly wishes she could do something too. Not something grand, just something small so he wouldn't have to carry everything alone. So that when someone asks whose home is this, she could answer ours without that quiet ache of feeling dependent. Her fingers gently slide across the tabletop. Sunlight streams through the window, falling in a soft line on an old notebook in the kitchen corner. She opens it. The pages are yellowed with time, but her late mother's handwriting remains clear recipes, notes, little reminders. Stir gently so it won't burn, and good things take time. A soft laugh escapes her lips. In those old pages, she sees a glimpse of her mother again, those warm mornings of her childhood. Among the recipes, one page stands out, the one with her mother's fried dough sticks made on chilly mornings. She stares for a moment, then ties her hair up, rolls up her sleeves. The kitchen begins to stir to life. The sound of kneading dough, the faint click of the gas stove, the oil slowly heating in the pan. The smell of frying dough gently fills the air, carrying with it the warmth of old memories. One by one, the little dough sticks turn golden in the pan, puffing up and sizzling happily. Tutian stands by the stove, cheeks flushed from the heat, her hands skillfully turning each piece. There are many things she doesn't know how to do, but there are also things she can. These golden sticks aren't just food. They are her quiet way of saying to Jack, "I want to build this home too." Then suddenly, a sharp sting in her nose makes her freeze. She touches it lightly, blood. Not much, but more than before. Tutian gently dabs it with a tissue, takes a slow breath, folds the tissue neatly, and sets it aside. She doesn't want to stop. The oil keeps sizzling like a cheerful little song. Morning light spills softly across the kitchen, illuminating the face of a small, fragile girl, quietly strong in her own gentle way. When the last batch of dough sticks was lifted from the oil, the kitchen was wrapped in a gentle warmth. The golden pastries, still steaming, were carefully arranged in a bamboo basket. Tu Tian lined it with paper to absorb the oil, then covered it with a clean cloth that smelled faintly of sunshine. For a brief moment, she stood still, gazing at the basket, as if looking at something truly hers, small but deeply meaningful. Outside, the early sunlight had grown a little brighter. The mist was nearly gone. A rooster crowed from a nearby house, and the distant rumble of engines climbed the hill. Everything around her spoke of an ordinary morning, yet inside something stirred softly. She slipped on a light jacket, put on her conical hat, and carried the basket out of the little house. The path from the hill down to the market was a narrow trail winding through trees. With each step, the gravel crunched softly under her feet. Her shadow stretched long on the damp, misty ground. The morning breeze brushed against her like a quiet touch. She drew a deep breath, her chest tightening slightly from the chill, but her heart felt warm. For the first time in many days, she felt she had done something meaningful. Not for anyone else, but for herself and for the man she loved. The morning market was already buzzing. Shouts, laughter, and bargaining blended into a familiar song of everyday life. Tu Tian chose a quiet spot under a tree where it was cool and calm. She spread out a clean cloth, set down the basket, and lifted the cover. A warm, delicate fragrance drifted into the air, golden, crisp, and inviting. At first, only a few curious eyes glanced her way. Then an older woman selling vegetables stopped by. Dough sticks, freshly fried Tu Tian, nodded, smiling gently, and handed her one to taste. It's good, crispy and fragrant. How much? That simple question made her heart flutter. It was her first time selling something she made with her own hands, the first time she stood alone in the market like this. No one stood beside her, but she didn't feel lonely. Instead, a small, quiet pride rose in her chest. Then came the second customer, then the third. Not a crowd, but enough to slowly empty the basket. As she chatted with people, something inside her loosened, as if a knot of worry had quietly untied itself. But her body was still fragile. While wrapping up a portion for a customer, a dull ache crept up her neck. She touched her nose quickly, blood again redder this time. Tu Tian turned away, dabbed gently with a tissue. No one noticed. She took a deep breath, smiled, and carried on as if nothing had happened. By then, the sun had grown sharper. Sweat gathered on her forehead, her breathing heavier. But more than half the basket was gone, and that made her feel light. Not because of the money, but because she knew she had done something that mattered. When the market quieted down, Tu Tian sat by the roadside, leaning against a tree trunk. Her conical hat covered half her face, but light filtered through the leaves, warming her flushed cheeks. Beside her, only a few golden pastries remained in the basket. The wind rustled gently through the branches above. Voices in the distance, the sound of motorbikes, all faded into a soft, blurred background. She sat quietly, fingers resting loosely on the basket handle, her mind drifting in delicate thoughts. Some kinds of love don't need to be loud. They don't need grand gestures or solemn promises. They live in mornings like this, when a quiet girl stands behind the scenes trying little by little to make sure the one she loves doesn't have to carry everything alone. Somewhere down in town, Jack was probably starting his day. He didn't know that up on the hill the girl had woken before sunrise, fried each dough stick, carried them to the market, and lived through a morning longer than usual. But Tu Tian didn't need him to know. It was enough for her that when he came home, there would be a warm, familiar scent in the house and a small bag of pastries waiting on the table. She tilted her head back to look at the sky. The soft morning light had grown into a bright golden hue. Her vision blurred slightly from fatigue, but her heart was clear. She wasn't just living in that house, she was building it into a home. A gentle breeze passed by. The cloth on the basket lifted, revealing the few remaining dough sticks, golden and warm. Tu Tian smiled. Not a wide smile, but a peaceful one. Just like this quiet morning.